It's a mix of sun and clouds with plenty of clouds around southern West Virginia as we go through the afternoon. We started off with some sunshine, but the clouds have rolled their way into the region now. And you can see that there's not a lot of sunshine, not a lot of shadow out there as we look at the camera live at Glen Jean because of that cloud cover that we're seeing around the region. Meanwhile, down to Route 460, Route 52 we go. Of course, this is in the Bluefield area as we look at the current conditions there. Plenty of clouds as we look towards East River Mountain and, of course, the tunnel underneath it that goes into Virginia, which is a little ways behind this camera. 66 right now in cloudy skies. The relative humidity is 75%, so there is some humidity out there. It's not like it's dry like it would be earlier or maybe later in the year during the fall, but still kind of a fall feel like in terms of the temperatures. The barometer's at 30.16 inches of mercury. Sunset time this evening just before 8:30. Temperatures are actually quite cool as you head off to the south of the region. Why is that? Because there we have that what we call cold air damming in the western North Carolina mountains. So it's 72 in Charlotte, but only 68 in Atlanta. Sometimes that cold air makes its way all the way down into Atlanta, and that's what's happening this evening. That's why it's cooler in Atlanta than it is here in Beckley at 70 degrees, 84 in D.C., 85 in New York, 79 in Indianapolis, 84 in St. Louis, 81 in Nashville. It feels like it's in the 70s and 80s. Even in Atlanta, it feels even cooler than the actual air temperature at 67. I imagine they're breaking out at least light jackets. Meanwhile, off to the southwest, we're beginning to see this air make its way towards the region. It feels like 90 in Little Rock at this hour. Doppler radar, well, there is a chance for some showers as we take a look at what's happening off to the south. This is associated with that cold air damming. It's basically a pretty raw day in Atlanta, no doubt about that, and it heads into the Carolinas as well, western North Carolina over towards Asheville and points eastward from there towards Gastonia and Charlotte. We're seeing some showers and thunderstorms as you head into portions of Illinois as well. Bottom line is that we're going to begin to see chances for showers because we'll have these disturbances make their way through the region. There's enough moisture from the Gulf for them to tap into, and eventually, as we talked about before the break, there's a possibility for tropical moisture, but that's not until much, much later. The possibility for showers is not great, but it is there as we go through the next several days, and so we'll toss that chance for showers into the forecast throughout this week. 20% chance for the showers for late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and mostly cloudy skies otherwise. Temperatures kind of coolish, 60 in Beckley and also in Oak Hill, 59 in Bluefield, 61 in Hinton. Aches and pains forecast brought to you by ARH. It's going to be smiley faces just about across the board. Aches and pains are fairly low because the pressure is fairly high. And the temperatures are kind of low too, so it's not necessarily one of those hot and miserable type of days. So that aches and pains forecast again brought to you by ARH. Looking pretty good out there as we head out and about to our plans as we go through the next several days. So the 7-day forecast, speaking of which, is going to call for temperatures to stay in the 70s just about across the board. Now, it will warm up a little bit later in the extended forecast, but we are going to see temperatures closer to the normal. Not mid to upper 80s, not highs in terms of the feels like temperatures in the 90s. Instead, we're sitting in the lower to middle 80s. Remember we talked about this last week? Just about every day in July. I think every day in July was above 80 in Beckley. Not the case this time. 5 of the 7 days are below 80 degrees as we look at the extended forecast.
So this feels even more seasonable, but even but in comparison to how July felt, it almost feels like a preview to fall.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Now, it's not fall yet.
No.
I expect another warm up or 2 or 3 before it's all said and done. And the possibility is there for, we talked about some of that tropical moisture too, to come into the region late in the extended forecast and beyond.
All right, so if you guys enjoy the break of the heat, you better take every chance that you get to appreciate it, because apparently it's not staying around for a little while.
No, it won't stay around forever, not until it really gets cold later in the year.
All right, now that's all the time we have here for right now. We have more news, weather, and sports coming your way after the break. Don't go anywhere.